In this video, I'm going to be showing you simply how to make $100,000 after tax here in 2025. It's October, we're going into the new year quite shortly, and if you're anything like how I was 5 years ago, and you want to start getting monthly payouts like this, at age 23, I pulled in just over $3.1 million in sales, was able to start traveling the world, meeting up with incredible entrepreneurs, and now we have students like Colin, who was completely able to change the trajectory that his life has gone. Frederick here made $3,250 in just 3 days. Another guy here said that Jake, this was a business owner that we worked with, he said that Jake on his team was able to go full-time with this opportunity that I'll be discussing more with you guys today, across $100,000 in cash collected. Shad said that he literally stopped working his 9-to-5 job, was able to triple his full-time salary. We had a 17-year-old make $812 in a single day. We had another student over here, $2,000 in commissions in just 3 weeks. We had another student here, right? Not necessarily a monetary win, but was able to actually be at home with her 3 kids with no missed work. Now, who am I? Well, my name is Kekoa MacAuley, and back in 2019, I was just a student over at Vanderbilt University. This is me in my college dorm room. I was on the floor doing some coding. We had a bunch of different computers that I ran for my marketing agency, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, right? I'd heard of this concept of the digital gold rush, that a ton of people were moving into the online space. Back when I was 14 years old, I had a YouTube channel, then got into cryptocurrency trading in about 2017, and then I stumbled upon this digital gold rush of all these people moving into the online business space. Then, right, come later, I actually graduated Vanderbilt University back in 2021, and I was kind of met with 2 potential options, 2 routes that I could have gone down. I could have gone the, investment banking, JP Morgan, Chase route, right? Where you see these little memes where I'm just doing investment banking for 2 years before I go run the family office, right? Where you get your little Amex Platinum, you get your whiskey sours, you get to, read the books, you get a party at the club, bottle service, right? You get to find dates on Raya, right? You watch The Wolf of Wall Street, you do all this stuff. That was the typical route that, I was considering, is either this or it was to go consulting at McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, right? So that was my first option. And while that would be great, while I'd have fun in the clubs, I'd get to, drink my whiskey, I might get to buy, an AP or a Rolex or, do that stuff. I'd also be working 80 to 100 hour work weeks, right? With little free time, if any at all. On the other hand, right, I could live a life where I could generate an uncapped income, right? Sure, at JP Morgan Chase, I'd be making $100,000, $150,000 first year coming out of college and scale that pretty quickly, but I wouldn't have freedom and there would still be a cap on my income. So kind of coming out of college, I realized that, hey, I didn't want to go work 80 to 100 hour work weeks at, a white collar job. I wanted to find something that would generate me uncapped income, right? Would allow me to have real freedom, right? And allow me to make the money that I wanted while also being able to travel, right? To do the things that I really cared about. And this is me actually being able to travel, flying first class with my girlfriend. This is out in Dubai, overlooking the sky pool, right? Overlooking all of Dubai there. And none of that would have been possible if I had gone this route with JP Morgan. So on the other hand, I needed to figure out what that opportunity was. And for me, there was really 2 options, right? It was either, starting a business or learning sales. And kind of along the way, I honestly did both, right? I now run a sales training company called the Modern SDR, right? Where we help normal everyday people learn the skill sets of sales, right? So they can actually start having, kind of these freedoms, right? Being able to travel, being able to have uncapped earning potential, right? Being able to have real freedom, being able to choose their own schedule, right? But coming out of college, I realized that the one skill, right, that if I knew how to sell, if I had the skill of sales, I could have uncapped earning, right? I'd always be able to generate income, right? Because in a business, what does a business always need? Businesses always need sales. And for you who might be watching this video, right, it's very important to understand that a business cannot survive without sales coming in, right? Even our company, every company, without sales coming in, there is no way that business can ever survive. So if you can learn this skill of sales, right, you don't have to run a business that's super complicated, has tons of startup capital, is super risky, super saturated, right? You don't have to deal with any of that BS. You can come in, you can learn a skill set of sales where you have uncapped earning potential. You're always able to generate income, and businesses will always need you. Sales is the highest paid, role in like the entire world, right? And even as the business owner, sometimes I need to come in and be the rainmaker, right? I got to be the rainmaker. If I can find a little blue, right, water drops, I need to come in and I need to be the rainmaker. This is raindrops of money. I need to make money rain down on our little business house. That's a really terrible drawing. But sometimes this is my money raindrops. I need to be this rainmaker and come in. And because I know how to sell, I'm always able to make that happen. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the 4-step process. So how you can make your first $100,000 after tax. Maybe you're already earning $100,000 and you want to do this remotely, right? If you're a W-2 employee, right? I mean, if your salary is $100,000, you're taking home about $65,000, if even, right? And that's before all your bills, all your expenses, right? So even if you're making $100K a year, I mean, in this economy, wow, like you might have $10,000 left over to like do anything fun with, and then maybe you have some money for your retirement or whatever, right? So this is how to make $100,000 after tax, but then also, right, how to actually keep more of your money, right? Because that's really important. So what is step number one? Step number one. Well, that's going to be learning sales, right? So I got you guys a nice little diagram, but for every sales call, right, you need to understand that there's really 5 steps for every sales call. And I have a bunch of other videos that go more in detail with this as well, right? I believe this example that we're going off of here is based off a mushroom example, right? So this is someone that's selling a mushroom therapy, and I believe this is actually what we're going through. But there's going to be the discovery process, right? We have our pitch, we have our temp check, we have our price drop, and we have objection handling, right? So throughout all of these 5 different things, if you can get really good at just this discovery part, then it's going to be pretty simple for you to get to $100,000 after taxes here, in 2025. So to give you some context, right, to break this down, there's really, balloons popping up here. There's really going to be 2 main kind of formats that you can run a call, right? So we have a triage call, right, which is a 15-minute discovery call. We're exploring more about, what a prospect needs, where they want to go, etc. And we're essentially booking a demo call. A demo call is a closing call, and if you can close, if you're on these closing calls, you're essentially going to make a lot more money, right? I have a few other trainings that I'll link here so you guys can actually go understand fully about that. But simply put, if you can figure out how to sell, you're going to make a lot of money, right? So how does this work? Well, to even understand how to run a discovery, right, what do we essentially need to know about a prospect, right? We need to know their current situation, right? We need to know their desired situation, and we need to know ultimately what is stopping them, right? And this is ultimately, also kind of like urgency, etc., right? So current situation, desired situation, what is stopping them? Now, when I start a closing call, generally, depending on the industry that you're selling in, you want to start with current situation and pain. So I want to figure out, after I frame the call, right, I want to figure out, hey, what is your current situation? So let's break this down. When I start a call, right, I might be going through this with a prospect. Hey, John, so, dude, it's great to have you on the call. Really, my intention for this call is to understand more about, what has you looking into starting with our, mushroom therapy, what you might be struggling with, and ultimately, John, what your goal is with getting started with mushrooms. So first of all, this gives John, my prospect, a clear roadmap for what is going to happen on this call. So he's not freaking out, hey, what am I doing? It's this is what's happening, and this is how it's going to go. I come off as an authority. He has a clear roadmap. Okay, this is what's going to happen, right? So that's ultimately what we're doing with John here on this call, right? And then I'll say something like, cool, John, and at the end of the call, right, if there is alignment between what we do and what you're looking for, I can go over the proposal with you, and we can get you rolling with us and sort the investment. Sound cool? As long as I get that yes, then we can start the call, right? So that's really my first step of getting into things. Now, the next question I'll ask him generally is going to be, what even has you hopping on the call with me today, John, right? So John will be like, so this green is going to be me, and this yellow is going to be John. So John might say, yeah, Kekoa, I have issues sleeping. Okay, John, I'll acknowledge this. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. How long has that been going on for, right? Remember, this is our current situation. So what is John's current situation? Well, in this case, I know that John's current situation is issue sleeping, right? I'm then asking, okay, how long has that been going on for? 6 months, right? So this is a 6 months problem. Make this smaller. 6 months problem. Okay, and what have you tried so far to get this solved? Like, what other methods have you tried? Oh, I've tried other mushroom therapies, right? So John has tried other solutions. So I need to start understanding, hey, John, like what has really happened with those solutions? Like how have those gone? Ultimately, how has that process gone? Right? How's that gone so far? Right? So ultimately, this is like how I'm starting to explore this, right? So John will be like, I tried mushroom therapies. Okay, for sure, John. I mean, what sort of mushrooms did you try? How did that go? John might say, it went positive, but this happened. And since then, I have still had problems. So I might explore this and then ask, okay, and cool, John. I mean, have you tried anything else so far? What have you started to look into? Now, what at this point might John, our prospect, have in his mind? Well, he might start having some sort of objections, right? He might have been looking into this before, but he hasn't had the best, results with other things online, right? So I need to start understanding this. Okay, John, so, he's looked into other things, right? We're exploring how these went, but even though he's tried other things, they didn't necessarily go well. So he might have some, trust objections, scam objections with this that are ultimately holding him back. It went positive, but this thing happened, and then since then I've still had these problems. Okay, cool. I mean, have you tried anything else? No, just really looking in your solution, right? So now I want to get his buy-in, right? I want to get his buy-in for why our solution might be able to help him. So I might say something like, okay, and obviously, John, I mean, you've had some negative experiences. I'm sorry to hear that. Was there anything that stood out to you about, our mushroom solution that made you jump on this call with me today, to get out of your problems with sleep and everything, right? I'll probably phrase that a little smoother. But at this point, what's going to happen? Well, at this point, the prospect is now going to sell themselves on why this solution, our solution, is going to work for them. And at this point, the prospect is going to sell themselves on why this solution will work now for them. So let's go over that again. Obviously, you had some negative experiences. I'm sorry to hear that. So we acknowledge them, right? Make them feel heard. Was there anything that stood out about our mushrooms that made you jump on this call with me to ultimately help you get out of your problems with sleeping? So once again, right, we're really getting now their current situation, and we're starting to develop, right, urgency. We're starting to get urgency on the call, right? So the prospect is going to sell themselves for why this will work now. And then I'll ask this question, which is almost my transition into desire, right? So I have this drawing here, and think of all of our sales as like a roller coaster, right? So we have pain, we have building desire, and then urgency is lack of inaction. So pain, that's where they're at. We want to build desire, where they want to go, and then urgency. So I'm essentially, it's like a musical orchestra roller coaster, right? Kind of think of it like that. So ultimately, that's how I'm able, right, to build urgency and kind of figure out, hey, what was the turning point? What was the turning point that made you, understand, hey, I need to do something different, right? So I might ask a question, cool, and was there a specific turning point that you felt that, today was the day to make a change and hop on this call with me? Yeah, it was XYZ. And then the prospect would give you exactly what the problem was, right? Okay, John, and on the other side, like what would be the ultimate goal starting here with mushroom therapy for the change? Do you want to fix your sleep as well? Like do the mushrooms, like would that make you feel better? Like what does mental clarity look like for you, right? So if the prospect says they want mental clarity, then we need to understand deeper probing, right? So this is a probing question. So probing question to understand on a deeper level what mental clarity looks like for the prospect. Okay, you'd be able to sleep better, be able to focus at work better, take care of your kids. Okay, that's great. better sleep? How so? Earlier I know you were mentioning you were struggling with, how long specifically have the sleep problems been happening? It's been happening for XYZ. I haven't been able to go to the gym. I haven't been able to do other things, right? And I know you mentioned, not being able to focus at work or, being present with your kids. Is this lack of mental clarity affecting anywhere else? So this is still kind of building off pain as well. So you can see how I'm starting to get questions for desire, but then it's also relating into a deeper pain, which once again is going to help me build more urgency so we can actually make the sale, right? So then from there, I want to future pace with results, right? So I might ask the question then, okay, so John, let's say you started with our mushroom therapy. You actually, gained more mental clarity. What would life look like then? Prospect will likely say playing with their kids more success at work, more friends, right? And then I'm going to hit him with an if-how question. And this is ultimately to help him understand this. You can call this a ramification question, right? So, John, if then we don't find a new solution, something like mushroom therapy, how will we be able to escape XYZ pain and gain more mental clarity so we can spend time with the kids and have more success at work? Oh, we won't be able to? Wow. No shit, right? So I talk about this more inside our live training once again, that I did almost a 2-hour training. You guys can go watch that as well. And I talk more about this tonality side, right? Of their seeking rapport, breaking rapport, and normal rapport. And this is something we also teach way more in depth inside Modern SDR. So if you do want to know what it looks like to actually work with us, our team, you want coaching, you want support, everything like that, that is in the description down below. You can book in a call, right? We also have some free course material in there. Check it out. But seeking rapport, breaking rapport, normal rapport. So a seeking rapport might be when I'm asking this sort of question. So notice my tonality here. If we don't find a new solution, something even like mushroom therapy, how, so I kind of fake stutter there too. How will we be able to get out of XYZ pain and gain more mental clarity so you can spend time with your kids and have more success at work? I'd be like, yeah, I got to do something, Kekoa. Cool. So it's time to make a change. Yes. And then right here, this is my transition into my pitch. So this is something we'll probably have a separate training on entirely, but I'll say something along the lines of, cool, I'd love to break down how this works. Is that something you'd be opposed to, right? We'll then give them 3 pillars. So the first step is going to be, hey, you take mushrooms. Second step, you track your data for sleep. Third step, you continue taking these mushrooms, whatever, you check in with your coach. Then I'll get a temp check. Hey, based off everything we went through, do you have any further questions on this? And then I'll ask them, okay, cool. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, Kekoa, I hate you, I want to get off this call, to a 10 being like, yes, I'm gung-ho, I'm ready to go, this looks great, where are you at? As long as they give us a 10, then we price drop them, and then we handle objections, and we get to close, right? And ultimately, being able to do this is exactly how, right, students like Erica here, right, she said, before I jumped into this program, I definitely did my research. I read the negative reviews. We got freaking slammed over on Trustpilot here, which I answered. But she said she saw that Kekoa answered them instead of just deleting them, that he could have. I really appreciated and respected his transparency with his critics. It was really refreshing. After sitting down and talking with Alex, I just knew this program was different. Yes, it's sales training, but it's just not run-of-your-mill car salesman, right? It's empathetic, right? This is empathetic sales, right? Zach said this was a killer program. Said experience was outstanding. Same welcoming prospect, client service that made the joining process seamless. Been mentored in the community. Live weekly coaching calls with our staff, right? And then we got Blake, I think it's Joseph inside the community, right? He invested in himself, came through and did that with us in the Modern SDR. So if you want to literally just learn exactly how this works, how you can hit your first $10,000 or $100,000 after tax, like ASAP, right? Book a call. There's going to be links in the description. You can book a call, find out how this works. There's going to be a quick video training. You'll watch that. Our team will probably call you, probably run you through a similar process like this so you can learn exactly how this works, right? Once again, right, like this is literally real stuff, and this is just like a little taste, right? So you can kind of see, like, this is a framework. I call these word tracks. These are the word tracks that you want to use in order to get someone that doesn't even know you, doesn't necessarily trust you, to be almost foaming at the mouth, begging to wire you money. Like this is how you do it, right? So once again, right, I could have gone this route, but what I wanted was real freedom. I wanted to make the money I wanted while also being able to travel and have uncapped earning potential, always be able to generate income, and businesses always need sales coming in. So I knew that I'd always be good. If my business didn't work out, I could go and sell full time, right? And hopefully we just keep running the business so we can keep teaching people. But regardless, I know that because of sales, I can be the rainmaker and make it come down whenever we need money coming in the door, right? And that's ultimately why, able to travel, able to do these things, right? Able to help students like this. I mean, that's awesome. Being able to see people, even $2,000 in 3 weeks, that's sick, right? So that's step one. Now, how do you actually find a business owner selling a $5,000 product? So there's a bunch of methods inside of Modern SDR. We actually have a pipeline. So on WhatsApp, we have just a group that we just slam opportunities in there. That's always been great for our students because we help pretty much give them an opportunity on a silver platter, help them get interviews, everything like that. But step two is going to be really finding a business owner selling a $5,000 product. So what I would do is honestly head over to Facebook Ads Library. So if you haven't been to Facebook Ads Library, literally just come and click here. You guys actually should be able to see this right here. And I'll just search by all, right? So you can search all. You can even search like just United States if you want. And then I'll go to all ads, $4.95, right? And then I'll search. And then you guys can see, okay, what are the little ads that I would actually be interested in, right? We have these guys. This is like cash flowing businesses. You're able to do this. So for example, you might see some of these, right? So this guy looks like they have some sort of, course or program. So I literally just scroll to the bottom, can figure out what they're called. I can go search Dealmaker Wealth Society, find them on email, find them on Instagram, whatever it may be, right? So you find it, you kind of click on the landing page, and then I'll actually go and I'll send a video message. So I might be like, let's say I was reaching out to this guy. What's his name? Mitt. Hey, Mitt, saw that you're helping agencies ultimately scale their business, land more clients, right? My name's Kekoa. I've been in sales for X amount of time. What I love to do, man, I saw you had a $5,000 program. I love to come in, actually help you start closing, a few deals. I've actually attached a few example practices that I've done, right? And ultimately, I believe that I can help you add an extra $50,000, $100,000 in top line revenue to your company, right? I'll make $5,000, $10,000 of that. But I know you have these leads. They're pre-nurtured buyers. I love to come in, book them on a sales call, even take these sales calls for you, so you can start making more money, and we can win together. How does that sound? Mitt. I'd use his name too. So literally video just like that. Send that to like 50 people, right? So this literally just send to like even 100. So 100 people. You should get like a 10% response rate at least if you're sending like good videos. So that'll take you like 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours, super fast. Be able to do that. And that'll be step two. Now, once you find that business, you want to start taking 4 to 5 calls a day, literally using this data or this stuff that I showed you, right? And then you want to dial in your skill set, right? Pretty much dial in the skill set more, scale to your first $10,000 a month, right? And ultimately just start making a lot more money. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this gives you guys a good breakdown of kind of, what we're ultimately trying to achieve. I might have this Miro board linked in the description, maybe. So it might be an opt-in page. You guys might have to opt in to actually get that. But if you want to see this Miro board and have access to it so you can kind of see like what this call framework is as well, you can do that. And then if you do want to start working with us and pretty much just learn from me and my students, me and our coaches, get results like Erica, like Zach, like Blair, and all of our other people over on Trustpilot, right? There's going to be some negative reviews, people. And you can't have 800,000 followers and not have a little bit of hate, right? So regardless, take this as you will. I love to work with you inside Modern SDR though. We also have a few other like live workshops, other things like $7 all the way up to $7,000. So we got a bunch of different ways you can start working with us if that is of interest. And regardless though, I hope you have a freaking amazing day. My name is Kekoa MacAuley. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend.